Have you ever tried using AI for counseling or sharing your thoughts? Hello, everybody. I'm Nehal Shankar from Nitte Institute of Communication, and today we're joined by Mr. Aditya. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Aditya currently serves as a lecturer and counselor here at Nitte deemed to be University and has a strong background in psychology. Mental health has been at the heart of conversations across campuses these days, and Mr. Aditya has been at the forefront of it, guiding students through it. So, on that note, let's start by asking how realistic do you think is counseling through artificial intelligence compared to real counselors?
Yeah, thank you for having me. How realistic is it for artificial intelligence to work as actual counselors? Now, that's a question which is very relevant simply because that's the kind of world that we're currently living in, right? Now, the realistic part of it, artificial intelligence cannot really replicate or duplicate the actual experience of therapy. All it can do is let's say provide solutions or guidance. It can validate you, it does that wonderfully well, but it cannot really replicate the exact therapeutic relationship which is part of why therapy works. So I don't think it's going to replace actual offline therapy.
So, do you feel that the free factor, the fact that AI chatbots are typically free, does that appeal to the students and make the real counselors a second choice?
It appeals to the students, of course. Of course, it appeals because you have it free, it's accessible, and you can do it anonymously. So that's three of the aspects of any kind of, I would say, addiction. That it's accessible, it's affordable, and it is anonymous, right? So you can sit in your homes and you can just ask ChatGPT or tell ChatGPT that I'm feeling this way, and just give me a solution or to help me navigate through this, and it can do it effortlessly, or it may seem like it's doing it effortlessly. So it offers a free resource, yes, and that's the reason why most people would I would say prefer to first talk to ChatGPT or an artificial intelligence chatbot, and then maybe transition to an actual therapist. Yeah.
So, on that note, do you think in the future therapists may use AI chatbots as a co-therapist so that they can go hand in hand in therapy?
They're actually doing it currently as well. Many of the artificial intelligence tools are used to inform better therapeutic decisions. Simply because, think of it like this: if you have to administer psychological tests, it's just the administration that you have to do, right? So, if a human does it or if a chatbot does it, that is not so relevant at all. In the case of psychological testing, but the psychological assessment part is something which involves a lot of things, like the test and observing the person, talking to them, knowing their case history, and all of that is something which is much more bigger. So therapists are going to use these chatbots, but there's going to be a line beyond which the chatbots cannot reach when it comes to therapy.
So, it should be about finding that balance, right?
It should be about finding that balance because no matter what you do, artificial intelligence is here to stay, right? So you can't really resist against it. When you resist it, you are depriving people of the opportunity to actually access it and make best use of it in healthcare.
Do you believe that artificial intelligence one day can achieve the understanding of human mannerisms? We pause, we take sighs, all those human mannerisms. Do you believe that AI can grasp those?
AI grasping these mannerisms. Um, I think there's always going to be a lack. It's never going to completely understand the nuances of silence or the changes in the tone in which you speak, or when you're supposed to be, let's say, provide that space where you just feel that energy aspect. It's not going to be something which can be replicated artificially, at least, because it's always going to be artificial and not genuine and natural. I mean, the person may feel that way. So, I don't think so.
Do you believe that it's still a valid form of healing if a student gets comfort from an AI chatbot?
Is it a valid form of healing? It's a valid form of healing. Nothing invalid about it. But the problem is when um, you get validated too much. Like AI is going to tell you, if you tell AI that I did a mistake, then AI is going to tell you it's okay if you've done a mistake. There are so many good things about you and all of that. Right? Fantastic for the first day. Second day, you do the same mistake and tell AI you did a mistake, then AI is probably going to tell you it's okay, mistakes happen. You just have to learn from these mistakes. Right? And the third day, the same thing might happen. So it's always going to validate you because it doesn't want you to feel bad, or it wants you to be there talking to it, right? The problem with that is the real therapist will confront you. Like if you're doing a mistake once, they'll validate your feelings, emotions, and all of that. And then the second time as well, we will try to understand why it's happening and why you're not able to, let's say, stop that behavior from happening. But if it happens again, then you know that there's a flaw there, and that's when you confront. And this confrontation is a clinical skill which is developed through human practice over time. It's not something that AI can replicate by going through lots of data of how sessions are done. It's not something that can be replicated just like that. So yeah, that's things.
So you talked about the confrontation part as a counselor.
Yeah.
So do you believe that students may feel intimidated by counselors and may resort to AI chatbots to feel a lack of judgment?
Yes, I'll see. There's a difference here. Now, confrontation is different from judgment, right? Confrontation is when you're actually pinpointing, let's say, an error, a logical error in the way that the person is thinking, and you're confronting them that this is how you're thinking, right? Whereas judgment is where you're sitting and it's like on a high seat. You're saying, okay, so this is the kind of person you are. Do you really want to be doing this? That's when you really have a judgy tone there, right? So. Now, will students find it less confrontational on AI? Of course they will. That's the way it has been designed. But is it beneficial for them? I won't say it isn't, but it's still 50-50.
So here's a question that bothered me. If an AI chatbot gives a student harmful information or advice,
Right.
who is in the wrong here? The student or the code? It's really bothering to me.
So AI is only going to give you advice, right? And the therapist, an offline therapist as well, a physical therapist, is not going to give you advice, but may lead you towards making a decision or doing something, right? Regardless, you are the person who has control over your actions. So if AI says, life is difficult for you, go jump off the building, then you are still in control of whether you want to follow AI's advice or not. Right? So if you give your complete volition and control to AI, then of course it's going to make you do what you want to do. But that is not the current scenario. At least AI doesn't have that much control. So ethically, it is still, let's say, your role in doing something harmful if it's based on the suggestion.
So it's a blurry line, like who's in the wrong.
Yeah, it's like if I give you a knife and you feel like you want to stab somebody, you are still in control of whether you want to stab that person or not. Just because I give you the knife doesn't mean that I am making you responsible, or I'm manipulating in some way that you have to stab that person. It's completely on you as a human being who has the individual capacity to make decisions. The only reason why people come to therapy is because they find it difficult to either cope with their emotions or cope with their life, or they're just lacking some skills. That's all. So if you learn these skills, then you'll be able to make better choices for yourself. And that is something which you can't really pin on the therapist, regardless if it's AI or if it's human beings.
So it all comes down to critical thinking, is what you're saying.
It all comes down to critical thinking. Yes, individual, let's say, responsibility or control.
What about in the case of students who are afraid to open up to their counselors?
Yeah, students who are afraid to open up to the counselors. Yeah, I mean, it's a good resource in that way. In that way, uh, that's the reason why you have so many mental wellness applications that have their own, chat bots, therapy bots, and that has shown great improvements in the well-being of people who use it. So it's not that it's bad. Um, I mean, there are good results. There are positive results. No, I'm not denying that.
Have you ever tried using AI for counseling or sharing your thoughts?
Sharing my thoughts, yes, of course. I mean, if there are some interesting prompts that can be given, and if I want to ask some questions just to see its method of reasoning and thinking, then I have experimented with AI. Yes.
So, what would be your final advice to students who use AI for counseling?
My final advice would be that if you are using AI and if you are finding comfort or safety in that platform, um, you may reach a point where you may want more, or you may reach a point where you feel it is artificial. And if you reach that point, just know that the AI is trained on human, let's say, therapy interactions, right? So whatever it's telling you, or whatever it's making you feel, is what it has been programmed to make you feel based on actual human experiences. So seek therapy in person, because it's the therapeutic relationship which is the most important in any mental health situation.
So that's all for today. Thank you so much, Mr. Aditya. Your insights have been really wonderful. So for the audience viewing this, the key takeaways I would say is critical thinking is important, and we should always prefer human connection when it comes to therapy.
Yes.
And I would say that this conversation might inspire more conversations in the campuses about mental well-being, and I hope this gives students something to think about. So thank you so much, sir, again,
Yeah.
and thank you so much for watching.